growth gives you the most commonest measure of economic performance. Employment gives you another dimension because it gives you an indication of how productive we are.
Why do we use debt to GDP as a measure of debt sustainability? And then should PENCON be investing more in housing? And I think there are some other questions.
I'll start with the pension related.
There's another question on that.
That's another economist. So Dr. Kitchen can talk about that.
The other two questions for you were infrastructure, uptake currently, and then scaling of PENCON.
Yes, for housing, there are a lot of initiatives. The issue about housing currently in Nigeria, it's about 17 million deficit. That's the estimated. It could be more than that. I think affordability is an issue. In Abuja, there are a lot of estates, empty estates. Even in the estate I live in, almost 70% unoccupied. It's got to do with affordability. What is the average income of a typical Nigerian, a worker, compared to the prices? You're hearing prices of 120 million, 150 million, 175 million. How many people can afford that? Who are the people that really require these houses? They are at the base. The public servants, the private sector workers, and so, like I said, there are a lot of initiatives. Two currently. In fact, as I was sitting down here, I got a call, a message for one of the initiatives by the federal government for the civil servants, you know. And in terms of housing, what are the major components that scale up the prices? Land and infrastructure. Those are major components, providing the sewages, the roads, and all that's the major components, and even the cost of land. So the government, in conjunction with some state governments, are coming up with affordable housing programs. So the states are donating land and providing infrastructure. So it's the brick and mortar and all that. But also another component is also the cost of the components, the building materials. Most of the components are imported. So how do we provide affordable houses? So the commission there are also provisions in the regulation for pension funds to invest in housing through corporate debt securities. So there could be mortgage bonds. The Nigerian Mortgage Refinancing Company that was established recently is refinancing mortgages created by the primary mortgage banks. So, and the pension funds have invested in the Nigerian Mortgage Refinancing Bond. So that would kind of elongate the tenor for mortgage bonds. You know, the mortgage banks could give a longer tenured mortgages to individuals to buy their own homes. There's also the issue of REITs, real estate investment trusts. That's another vehicle in which you could scale up investments in housing. It's an allowable asset class for pension funds. So the pension funds are partnering with various stakeholders to be able to make housing affordable to the workers. Like I said, the current pension reform the focus is on the individual. That's why you have your own statements, you can monitor, it's an individualized pension scheme. And another significant inclusion in the amendment to the pension legislation in 2014 was the use of part of your retirement savings account to be able to pay for equity contribution. Equity contribution, the deposits the mortgage banks will ask you to make before you could buy. And the Commission is already finalizing the guidelines for that, so that people could access their pension funds to be able to buy their own homes. And that's been stalled. We don't currently have a board. All regulations and guidelines issued by the Commission must be approved by the board. So once the board is reconstituted, we guess that will come into play. So those are the initiatives. The Commission is partnering with, not the Commission, but being the regulator in terms of regulation and looking at ways of creating the enabling and the right environment for the pension funds to invest in housing, as well as all other initiatives. The second is got to do with the level of uptake. Like I said earlier, pension infrastructure investments was allowed in 2010. The pension funds cannot develop instruments as well as invest in them. We've waited for so long. There are currently no infrastructure bonds. And that's one of the major challenges for the pension funds in terms of their investment activities. There are limited investment instruments to be able to really impact on the local economy. So what are we doing now? We're actually going to the relevant stakeholders. What are you doing? What are your plans? What are your plans in terms of infrastructure? What are your plans in terms of housing? What are your plans, for in the various economic sectors? So currently, like I said,
these are public or private stakeholders?
Both. We're doing both. We've had a series of engagements, especially in the last quarter of 2016, because we're worried. We think the pension funds we're at the stage where the pension funds should significantly impact on our local economy. And since we are not getting the right vibes, we are now taking the fight to the stakeholders, both public and private. What are your plans? How can the pension funds partner with you to be able to do the right thing? So, for infrastructure bonds, 0. Allocation, 15% of pension funds can be invested in infrastructure bonds. The uptake is 0 because there are no infrastructure bonds. But on the other hand, we take the state government bonds to the infrastructure because all the state government bonds are actually invested in infrastructure, one way or the other. And that is regulated by SEC. SEC ensures that the proceeds of these bonds issued by the state governments are utilized for the purposes for which they are stated in the memorandum, and their perspective for that security. So, and currently, pension fund investment in state government bonds is about 2%.
You heard. Won't keep quiet.
For infrastructure bonds, it's 0.3%. There's just one infrastructure fund currently, and that's the ARM Harris Infrastructure Fund. And the uptake is just 0.3%. Why would infrastructure is a major issue? Why would we have just 1 or 2 registered infrastructure funds in the country? We expect, more activities in that line. But it could be there are other reasons, macroeconomic factors. Then for the upscale for micro pension, if you look at the economies of most developing countries, the informal sector accounts for almost 80% in terms of productivity. The formal sector roughly 20 to 30%. Same thing in Nigeria. The formal sector, the formal workers are barely 20% of the working population. We have almost 98% covered the formal sector in terms of registration of workers in the pension scheme. And the next stage is the informal sector. And that's why we've set up a new department in the Commission. And that's the department with the highest number of staff within the commission to drive that initiative, the micro pensions department. So we'll be looking at not only the artisans, they are actresses, they are actors, they are people in the entertainment industry that earn 20 times what the formal workers earn. They have no form of retirement plan.
Okay, thank you.